Welcome to Let's Connect on 88.5 Soufriere FM. We are going to be having a little bit of a late start tonight. Today is Tuesday, and we all know that there was Parliament. So Honorable Emma Hippolyte will be joining us in a little bit. Just bear us a little bit of patience while we wait for her to end with her current meeting and then to join us. In the meantime, we want to say good night to everybody listening to us on 88.5 Soufriere FM. Those of you who are everybody listening to us on 88.5 Soufriere FM, those of you chat on Facebook on 88.5 Soufriere FM. We want to say good night to everybody listening to us on 88.5 Soufriere FM, those of you who are 88.5 Soufriere FM. We want to say good night to everybody. All right, we want to say special shout out to those of you at St Jacques, especially those of you in Mini, Belvedere, St Philip, those of you at Boisden and Belfort. We want to say good night to you. If you are in Deville, if you are at Espérance in Choiseul, good night to you guys. Sorry to also Belle Plaine, all those of you at Fort-Jalib, Mont-Lacroix, Chateau Bel-Air. If you're residing in Zeno, good night to you. Colabet, Sulphur Springs, good night. For Kako, Diamond, Bouton, Etangs, good night to you guys. Margaret Tooth, Market Road, Palmis, Forbenier, good night to you guys as well. Especially those of you at New Development, those of you in Wingsville, Church Street, Smoke Hill in the Gulf, those of you at Lenny's Hill, and special good night to those of you in Barron's Drive. We want to start off tonight by sending out condolence messages to the family and friends of all the shooting victims from the various shootings that took place in the last few days, especially in Soufriere. We want to say rest in peace to Donnie, who was managing the Soufriere estate. We want to say speedy recovery to Mr. Peter, and we want to express deepest condolences to those who were in the other violent altercations throughout the island. So we want to wish speedy recovery on those who were lucky enough to survive, and we want to express and reiterate the words of our Prime Minister and all our ministers who are asking everyone to put down the guns, asking us to get into prayer, asking us to assist the police in whichever way we can. Please give information regarding the incidents that have taken place. We want to say happy anniversary to Mr. and Mrs. Frederick. That's Mr. Leander Frederick, wishing you a very happy wedding anniversary today. Also to you, Miss Ratty. I hope that you guys enjoyed your day and are still out celebrating right now. We want to say special birthday greetings to my friend Mona Lisa, who celebrated in Soufriere this weekend. Happy birthday to you. And we want to once again say good night to all those of you on our live. If you're on our live, drop us a little note so we can give you a shout out. I want to say good night to Fancy Bowens of St. Vincent, always keeping it locked to 88.5, always locked on to Let's Connect. Thank you so very much. We want to say good night to all our listeners, our dedicated listeners throughout the whole of Soufriere. Tonight we're going to be covering various topics with our rep, the Honorable Emma Hippolyte. We will be discussing the latest initiation of STEP. We're going to be looking at the issue of crime, and we want you to be paying attention and also to send in your comments and your questions for the rep. Someone asked me to ask her about the situation of the rising cost of bread, so we're going to get down to that. We want to hear from her also regarding her thoughts on crime, her thoughts on what the country is doing regarding crime. We want to get an update on STEP. We want to get an update on the business planning model and creation workshop, which took place on the 24th and 25th of November. So we have quite a few things we want to discuss with our rep this evening. So we also encourage our listeners to send in your comments. Also, don't forget those of you who have the WhatsApp for 88.5 Soufriere FM, we can get your messages from there as well. So please do not hesitate. If you are able to WhatsApp, if you are able to send a message on our live feed, we are able to see it. So thank you so very much for your patience this evening. I do believe that Honorable Emma Hippolyte is in the waiting room. So we are going to let her in. Good evening, Honorable
Hi,
Honorable Emma Hippolyte. Good evening. Can you
good
hear me?
evening. Good evening. I'm trying to see how I'm getting you back on track. They have been doing different things. Okay, I think I have you here.
Hold
The
on, Honorable.
technology.
We're not hearing you. I can see you're speaking.
Are you not hearing me?
Just give us 1 second. We seen you, but we're not hearing you. Try it. Okay, try now.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
everyone.
everyone.
All right, we're getting there. Go again.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
everyone.
everyone.
The volume is low. We're just going to we can I know you're speaking. Our volume is just a bit low. Just give us a second. Okay, let's try again one more time.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
everyone.
everyone.
Yes, great. We're getting there. Good evening, good evening. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
It's a
A
little
little
while
while
since
since
we've not
we've
sat
not sat
down.
down.
So this
So this
evening, I
evening,
really
I really
want to
want to
engage
engage
you
you
to
to
connect and
connect and
say
say
what we
what
have
we
been
have been
doing
doing
and to
and to
figure out how
figure out how
you
you
are
are
doing.
doing.
It has
It
been
has been
a bit of a
a
crazy
crazy
running
running
around.
around.
I saw
I
quite
saw quite
a
a
few
few
at the
at the
square
square
on
on
Sunday
Sunday.
evening. Um,
Um,
you
you
know,
know,
somehow on
somehow on
Sunday I
Sunday I
was
was not
disturbed
disturbed
as
as
what
what
happened
happened
on
on
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes, but
Yes,
I was
but I
very
was very
pleased
pleased
that
that
our
our
children were
children were
able
able
to come
to come
out and
out and
have a bit of
have
a
a bit of
good
a good
time.
time.
So, so Renata,
So Renata,
to me, we
to me,
get
we get it back.
Sorry, were you breaking up a little bit? Can you repeat that, please?
yeah, I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying to
saying
me,
to me,
we
we
get
are
the
getting the
feedback.
feedback.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what's happening there. Because you're breaking up, and I was trying to turn my mic off, and there was some feedback. So hopefully we're okay now. So yes, we did have the launch of the Christmas Village on Sunday. I saw some footage and heard some of your audio from your speech that night. You did touch a little bit on crime, especially following the incident which took place over the weekend. So I
Uh-huh.
know then our Prime Minister has made a statement, as well as the Commissioner of Police, and but our persons on the ground don't seem to be aware of what it is that our government is currently doing in terms of combating crime. So
They are
can
not
you
aware.
give us, I don't think they're aware. Some persons are not aware. They have not seen the statement by the Prime Minister, or they have not seen the statement by the Commissioner of Police, or they don't feel like the statement is giving enough information. So is it possible for you to give us a update on what the
Well,
Prime
you see,
You
Minister is
see,
the
saying?
commissioner went into a lot of detail, but especially as it relates to police work, there are certain things that the police is not going to share with the public because of the nature of the work that they do. What I heard very clearly from the commissioner is a resolve by her team to take control and recapture the streets. What we are doing as a government, and the Prime Minister took quite a bit of time to outline some of the work that we are doing with the police. And one of them very clearly was to ensure that they receive equipment and more than anything else, vehicles. Members of the public would may recall that earlier this year the government gave the police no less than 11 vehicles, new vehicles, because some of the fleets were down. We've given them 11 yesterday. Um, the Prime Minister handed over another two vehicles, and there's another two to come. I know in particular when I engaged my police officers in Soufriere, they were lamenting that they needed an additional vehicle, at least one, because they too had limited access. So up to yesterday again, I read to the commissioner, and she's given me a commitment that the Soufriere police will receive some attention. There are a lot of other things that Renata, that we are doing even before that, especially for areas as it relates to marine security. Um, I need to remind the constituents of Soufriere of my concern, even before what happened on Saturday, based on other things that were happening in the town. I took the opportunity to bring it to the attention of the Honorable Prime Minister and the Cabinet of Ministers, and the Prime Minister facilitated a special meeting for for me with my other cabinet colleagues, and we focus solely on the various problems that you experience in Soufriere. As it relates to security on the waters, for example, we had quite a few break-ins in terms of the yachts in our bay, and that has implication for tourism in general, as well as our boat boys in Barron's Drive and the business persons and the restaurants in Soufriere. So we've had that conversation. The SMMA was getting some support from the Soufriere Foundation, but in addition to that, the Marine unit, the commander came down with a team. We had discussion over at the I think there's a Cool Breeze um, meeting hall. Strategies were discussed and areas done, and you will see a lot more patrolling of the Marine Police in our bay. So there are certain things that we were already doing, and we will intensify that. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. I want to express kudos to the government for taking these initiatives. I do believe the Prime Minister also said about training, extensive training, and a set of money has been set aside for training of the police.
Extensive training for our police officers, and in addition to that, for a period, I think between now and April or March, the Prime Minister is ensuring that the police gets additional support by bringing in trained and retired police officers back onto the team to give the police force some support in terms of the work that they have to do.
Okay. Some persons have questioned whether or not there is anything that the government can do. Do you think that these initiatives will have any sort of an impact?
Well, as I and up to today, persons who may have listened to Parliament would hear the conversation. It is not just one item or one set of action that is going to deal with the issues at hand. Um, there are a lot of other things that are going to happen. As I said, as the police have their work to do, and they have to do it within the law. But also the public have we have our work to do as members of the public. And more than anything else, that is why on Sunday afternoon I actually call on members of the public, because most times we know everything and we know who's doing what. And we always think that it is not our business to open our mouths until we are impacted by what is happening. So I'm asking, and I continue to call on members of the public to cooperate with the police, because we definitely need to bring an end, and we will bring an end to what is happening.
I 100% agree with you on that. We definitely have a society where people don't like to give out information when it is important to do so. Some of the comments on social media regarding that sentiment of speaking to the police and helping out with the investigation, some persons have indicated that they are not willing to do so because there is no system in place to protect witnesses, and that they're afraid of getting hurt themselves.
Reprisals. Yeah, I understand that as well. Yeah.
So that is definitely an issue that a lot of the persons are expressing. But we do want to encourage persons to, yes, we ask you to remain safe, but we also want to be our brother's keeper. And there are persons who have the information that is going to lead to arrest. So if your information is something that is going to lead to an arrest, we urge you to consider approaching the police with the vital information. All right. I wanted to get your opinion on the difference in our new STEP program. So, for persons who are not aware, we commenced the STEP initiative, which is the short-term employment project. And this time around for Soufriere, you only selected men. So 300 men began working Soufriere on. And we've been having a lot of persons asking, what's your reasoning behind that? Now, I have heard it and I have repeated it to persons, but it is better sometimes to hear it from the horse's mouth, as they say. So please, if you can, in your own words, explain to us the reasoning behind, the logic behind, the rationale behind selecting the men for the
Well,
step.
the rationale this time, and we don't call it a step this time. What we called it was a proper countrywide cleanup and stimulus. That's what it was. Because when we walk around, when you walk around, you can see that the whole place was overgrown. We had trees all over, taking over our roadways and making it almost unsafe to drive in a lot of places. So the work that we needed to do this time, we really needed to put the men on the ground. We have a lot of trees to cut, and that is if persons are looking around, they can see a big difference. We needed weed eaters this time, and we needed people who could really handle a cutlass to debush and clear the town and everywhere else.
Okay,
What
right.
we have attempted to do, what I've attempted to do to address the needs of our women. I know our women are always there. They have been on the step before, and I know it is Christmas is coming, and they need some work. Is that we're bringing them in the following week so that they can do some beautification and flower planting. But the first set of rough work, hard work, to cut the trees and to clear up the area, we needed the men on the ground to do that. We needed men that were able to use heavy equipment to do that, and that is cutlasses.
Agreed. So far from the reports I'm getting on the ground is that the men have been going at it hard and doing a good job so far. I have not heard anything otherwise, so I do believe that it seems your rationale was correct, and that definitely we're going to have a big difference by the end of the week.
Yeah, because persons may remember the last time we had a cleanup, and the last time we had a cleanup, we were not happy with the result of the work. We were just not happy with the results of the work, and we all want to have a clean Soufriere, a clean St. Lucia, and I'm asking all to cooperate with us, um, especially our women. So your time will come where we'll focus a lot more on you. But now there we need the main objective. We need this place cleaned up, and we need the men to do that for us.
That's right. I personally spent the last couple of weekends driving down in the south, and it's very strange to feel like the roads are crowding you. The roadsides are crowding
Yes,
you.
it's not safe. It's not safe.
It doesn't feel good. You coming around the corner and you see more grass than you see the road, and you don't know what's coming around the corner because you have to be trying and just stay on your side, touching the grass basically, just to make sure you're not in an accident. So yeah, it's definitely much needed right now that we clean up. I've never seen it this state before, so we definitely had to do something drastic to get it done.
Mhm.
All right. So we held the business planning model and creation workshop, which was held
Mhm.
the 24th and 25th of November at the Soufriere Access Center. We had about 25 to 30 participants, and these were all persons who had been previously showing interest in their businesses, attending the first Soufriere Business Forum, and who had started going through the process of registering their businesses. So, what was the brainchild behind hosting the business plan model and creation workshop?
Okay, you are correct in that we had in May, through the Ministry of Commerce, my ministry, we had our first business forum in Soufriere. The first one took place in Soufriere, and we had over 200 persons at the St. Cecilia Hall. And what that did was we invited all persons who were interested in setting up a business. Persons who already operating businesses, we invited them to in one space so they could meet various government departments, persons from government departments. There was the Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Agriculture, Export St. Lucia, St. Lucia Development Bank, Bureau of Standards, and persons from the youth economy. We brought all those persons together in one space so that people could interact with them, know what incentives if you're a farmer and you are in an agriculture or agro-processing business. You had an opportunity to meet with the people from agriculture. If you're a fisherman, you had the opportunity to meet with the people from the fisheries department. If you are one in a general, whether you are a hairdresser and a salon, or you have a spa or business, a commercial business, you met the people at the Ministry of Commerce. If you are interested in a tourism project, you're meeting the people from the Ministry of Tourism. All of those persons would speak to Export St. Lucia. Both persons were, how we say, manufacturing or creating small business at their homes, and persons who are providing services as well and wanted to sell their services both locally and regionally and internationally. They had an opportunity to meet with Export St. Lucia, um, and the main purpose was to guide them as to how the product that they have could get to the international and regional markets. So we did that. And after the Soufriere Business Forum, we have had five others. The last one was just on Sunday at Otsa. And what we are doing, we're technically bringing the government closer to the people. And the feedback we've had from around the places where we've been to Soufriere, Grosile, Babono, Masha, we had done Swazel, and now we did Castries Southeast. So we've done that, and we've had a lot of persons attending. Now, the objective was to get people ready, know all the incentives that you can get from government, but also to talk to them about new initiatives that the government was putting in place to engage and to grow small business. From the Ministry of Commerce, we have what we call the Micro and Small Enterprise Loan Grant Facility. That's a new facility that the Prime Minister got a $10 million loan from the CDB, and that is to assist small businesses. And it is going to focus on persons from age 31 to 60. Persons who are younger than this will have to go through the youth economy, which is another area where there's another $10 million dollars to assist the youth in business. Then you have the Ministry of Tourism with the Community Tourism Agency, and that is a separate set of funds for persons who, for example, persons who own land and want to put on trails and sites and attraction, the young persons who want to get into creative industries, persons who are sewing and want to get into fashion and things like that. So they go through the tourism route. So agriculture, persons who are in the business in agriculture, agribusiness, will go to the Ministry of Agriculture. They too have their own sets of incentives. So in preparing for persons to access some of those facilities, they need to be registered. They need to register a business name. And again, they can do that through my ministry. That service is already there, where you can walk into the Ministry of Commerce, and then you'll have an officer assigned to you, and who will assist you in registering your business, whether it is just a trade name or whether it is a limited liability company. The Ministry of Commerce will assist you in doing this. So we wanted people to know that, and because it's a requirement to benefit from the micro and small business loan grant facility, as well as having a registered business name. Business persons would need a business plan, a business plan. And that is what caused me to have this planning workshop, business planning workshop on the 24th and 25th. We invited persons. Well, as you know, the IT center was limited in terms of the number of persons that it could accommodate. I think they had 20 machines there. We stretched it to 25 and asked some persons to walk in with the computers. So we had 25 persons there where the staff from the Ministry of Commerce was guiding them in terms of preparing them, how to prepare their business plan. They've got a formula for it. They call it a lean canvas, but they were walking persons through that. As I know, those persons have another 2 weeks to work on those business plans to present it to the Ministry of Commerce. So that is the genesis. That is why we're doing it. All the time we're trying to prepare St. Lucians, prepare the business people in Soufriere to benefit when this micro and small business grant fund is launched.
Okay. So
You attended, so did you learn? What did you learn? You saw the people who were there.
yes,
Because I'm saying this, if there is significant interest, persons can also do that training online. But I really thought we needed to bring it in person, and I felt it was more impactful. Especially, it's not everybody that can follow some of these things online.
that's right. It definitely was. It was more interactive for me because I came with my own computer, so I was able to get a lot of the side notes that some of the others were not able to get on the desktop computers because of some of the software needed to be updated. So
Okay,
yes, so that was one of the issues. So if you had I think it was Office 2017. If you had Office 2017, you were able to get some of the side notes. But if you had 2010 or below that, you were not able to get the extra notes that came with the program, the Lean Canvas program. But
okay,
so I am actually hosting a refresher for some of our participants because the deadline for the to give up the business plan is this Friday. So we're having a bit of a study session on Thursday for us to make sure we submit and finish it up.
yeah,
So
that is extremely good. I need to commend you on that because that is what the issue of collaboration. That is what that is to support so that we bring everybody up together.
because I think at least four persons approached me and asked for help. And
Hmm.
I looked at it myself, and there were some areas I had already almost finished, but there were some areas I felt like I needed a refresher on as well, especially towards the financial aspects. So we're hosting a bit of a refresher. I'm getting some help from Mrs. Tanzania Mafre. She was part of the Jeunesse program, and she's a CPS. So we're having a bit of a session to get us all on board and have our business plan submitted on time for the deadline on Friday.
Okay.
Yes. Alright. So it's definitely been an interesting couple of weeks. We have had a lot of things happening. So we wanted to ask if there's any update that you can share with us regarding St. Jude's Hospital. We know that the government has given us the guarantee that they are going to make sure that that is the priority, funneling as much money as needed into the St. Jude's project. And we know that they have officially started as of November 1st. So,
Yes.
any update that you can share with us?
Well, as you're correct, the work has started, and the contractor is on site. If I recall, they're doing some of the external work first, the cleaning and so on, because as you know, the site was left unattended for a little while, so they had to sort of put that in place first. Especially as well outside, there were quite a few services that may have been affected in the yard, so they were dealing with that, and then they move in. They will be moving inside the building to do the work. So we keep our fingers crossed. It has started, and it will continue. And as a government, we know we will deliver St. Jude's to the people of St. Lucia.
All right, looking forward to that. A couple months back, I think the last time you were on here, we were eagerly anticipating the feedback from the audit. I do believe we had. I think that was in October. We were waiting to hear back. Is there any update you can give us regarding the
Well,
SRD? update.
We are working. We have seen a draft of the final. We've seen a draft of the audit report. We are also working with the gentleman doing the strategic plan. So the two things are happening simultaneously. I believe that the foundation has set a date to engage the public on some of these issues, and that is a date which is, I think, in the middle of December,
Okay.
where the public will be engaged.
Okay, so we just want to remind our listeners, if you have any issues with our audio, please let us know. I just got a comment that you're not hearing me clearly, so I'm going to hopefully, I'm hoping that I'm coming out loud and clear now. So once again, in terms of the audit, Honorable Emma Hippolyte has just given us an update that we are looking at sometime in December. So unfortunately, this is going to be the last Let's Connect program for this year, 2022. So we will have to hopefully bring you an update when we come when we come back in the new year for 2020. Oh, that was before.
Give me a minute. Let me call you back a little later. I'm on a radio program until
Yes,
9 o'clock.
to encourage our listeners of Let's
Right.
Connect. If you have any questions for Honorable Emma Hippolyte while we have her on air, you can send in all questions or comments regarding our update. So far, we have discussed government stance on crime. We have given a report on the latest debushing or step, for those of you who usually call it that. And we've also looked at the business planning model and creation workshop, which took place on November 24th and 25th. If you have any comments or questions regarding any of those initiatives, please send in a quick comment to us via our Facebook Live platform. Also, we have gotten an update on St Jude and as well an update on the SRDF audit, which we are eagerly anticipating. We have a question which was submitted by one of our listeners earlier today. There is a rumor or maybe a report, I'm not 100% sure how substantial it is, regarding that the cost of flour will be going up in January and therefore the cost of bread is going to be going up. So, question from our listenership is, what can you tell us regarding the rising cost of bread for 2023?
Okay. Also, yesterday I addressed the press yesterday on that. As you know, it is maybe throughout the year I've been updating members of the public in terms of government subsidy in terms of flour. The price of flour moved from $99 a bag to $144 a bag. And what we were able to do was, for example, in the month of June, for example, we were able to sell the government subsidized the flour and sold, sorry, a bag of flour to the bakers at $35. Between July and September, we went back and sold to them at, I think, at $50. But all this time, government was subsidizing the flour and negotiating with the bakers so that we do not have a price increase. Give me a minute. Let me just drink a bit of water. I'll come to you.
Not a problem. All right. So once again, you're listening to Let's Connect on 88.5 Super FM. I'm your host, Reniata D'Souza. Our guest this evening, Honorable Emma Hippolyte, fresh out of Parliament today. So we definitely understand the need for her to have some water. Once again, want to encourage our
Yep,
listeners.
I'm back with you.
All right, great. So
Yes. So I was saying between July and September, we sold to them at about $50. But we continue negotiating with them. And also between October to December, we also gave them that subsidy. So with a bag of flour at $144 and government selling that flour to the bakers at $50, government in essence $60. Government was subsidizing a bag of flour of $84 so every bag of flour sold, government was putting in $84. Now, when we look at what had happened so far in terms of costing, it has cost government millions of dollars. The last count we had for June to September, it was over almost $5 million. And we are saying that in addition to this, because we were negotiating with the bakers, but they were also saying that apart from the flour, the price of flour that was increasing, the price of the other ingredients used, the margarine, the shortening, and other bits and pieces were all increasing. And the bakers had not received the last price increase that the bakers had was in 2008. That is 14 years ago. And the bakers were saying that if we did not address their needs, they were going to have to close because they were operating at a loss. So, what have we done this time? So, we've agreed, Cabinet has agreed that come January 2023, um, the control bread, we have control bread, that is price control bread. Some bread fall under price control and some are not price control. So under the price control bread, we have the what you call the Creole bread, which was we sold at 35 cents. The cost was 35 cents. So as of January, that is going to move to 45 cents. And then the other pan loaf, we have two pan loaves. A small one, I think, just 360, is moving to $4, I think, and 35 cents, something like that. And the large pan loaf, which was $5 something, is moving up to six something. So I think on average it is about a 20% increase in the price of bread.
Okay.
But even after all of this, government continues. In order to keep that price, government had to continue its subsidy of flour to the bakers.
Well, I definitely hope that our listeners are understanding what it is that we're saying. So we're saying that the government is continuing to subsidize flour.
Yeah,
However, because of the rising cost of the other ingredients that are going into bread, that there had to be a price increase. Otherwise, we would not have any bakeries at all.
that's right.
All right. So I want us to keep in mind that the government is doing whatever it can to assist us in these very hard times. We understand it is hard because it is hard for everybody. Bread affects everybody, flour affects everybody, price of gas affects everybody. So it's not just some of us feeling it, everybody's feeling the pinch. So we ask that you keep these things in mind in terms of the struggle. And it's not just in St. Lucia. I heard the Prime Minister speak, and it is happening everywhere. It is had everywhere. We've seen what is going on in England. We're seeing what is going on in the other countries. So take heart that the government is doing what it can at this very moment. And I want to applaud the government and our cabinet of ministers for all the work that they're doing in terms of keeping things as steady as they can in the country. I know it's not an easy task. It's definitely worrisome for some more than others, but we definitely see that there's a lot being done to help curb the situation. So we urge those of you feeling it as much as possible. We know that you're frustrated, but there are persons you can speak to. We are available to try and help in whatever way that we can. There are lots of organizations out there. If you are struggling, if you are drowning, find one of these organizations, come to us in the office, we can help direct you. There are so many organizations, so many persons you can reach out to assist. Do not give up hope. Do not turn to the things that we should not be turning to in these times. We see how quickly people are getting themselves into struggle situations. So we urge you to do what you can while you can, and do not allow yourself to be drowning. We understand it's so easy to get under the water these days, but please do not allow that to happen to you. I want to urge our listenership to keep that in mind. Once again, I want to urge any persons with questions or comments. I know I did receive one, but I was hoping to save it for the last, but nothing else seems to be coming through. We have
Renata, let us focus a bit. You prepared some, I think, to remind persons. You have the list of some of the projects that we achieved during the year. So maybe you need to bring that to the attention.
Sure, not a problem. I have in hand a list of 74 items of achievements that we have accomplished within Soufriere from May 24th, 2020 until December 4th, 2022. Okay? So we're gonna try and see if we can get through as many of those as possible. I think I should skip 2020 and
Yeah,
maybe
skip 2020. Yeah.
going to start from July 2nd, 2021. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So July 2nd, 2021, we were on the ground after Hurricane Elsa. So this is just after the passing of Hurricane Elsa, and you went out to assess damages on the ground throughout the community of Soufriere. On
Mm-hmm.
the 20th of July, there was a distribution of galvanized to Hurricane Elsa victims. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometime after that, there is no specific date because it went on for a few days, where there was the distribution of fertilizer to farmers in Soufriere.
Yeah.
So during that time of September, October of 2021, there was a distribution of school assistance through uniform vouchers and book vouchers.
Mm-hmm.
October 20th, 2021, presentation of new uniforms to the Soufriere male football team. November
Mm-hmm.
November 3rd, 2021, donation of football boots to Tyrell Julian of the national under 20 football team. On the in around the same time between November December of 2021, there was a desilting of the Soufriere River, which went on during the month of November. December 17th, 2021, there was distribution of 200 grocery hampers.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout December as well, there was several infrastructure works being done in Barons Drive. On the 22nd of December 2021, there was a presentation of the token of appreciation to members of the Soufriere branch of the Royal St. Lucian Police Force. January 15th, 2022, there was a presentation of two fans to the Soufriere Fire Service. January 28th, 2022, presentation of financial assistance to vendors. That's those who had participated in the opening of the season celebrations in November of 2021. January 20th as well, presentation of promising community projects to key stakeholders. February 14th, Valentine's Day, distribution of 25 breakfast baskets to the sick and shut-in. March 18th, 2022, presentation of groceries, kitchen utensils, and linens to the victims of the Bulliard fire on which took place, I believe it was on Ash Wednesday. March 27th, the formation of the St Jacques Farmers Group. April 3rd, 2022, Good Deeds Day church service in Soufriere. April 8th, the launch of the housing rehabilitation project in Soufriere at the Cool Breeze Conference Room. April 18th, 2022, Youth Month activity, which included fun sports and family day at the Soufriere Mini Stadium. April 22nd, which was Earth Day, there was a tree planting exercise in the community. April 24th, another Youth Month activity, the Paint and Sip at the Soufriere Beach Park. On the 27th of April 2022, there was the hosting of the Royals, the Earl and Countess of Wessex at the Fordu Resort. The 1st of May, Labor Day celebrations at the Soufriere Market. May 7th, 2022, Mother's Day soup distribution at the Soufriere Market. May 8th, another Youth Month activity, the beach volleyball. On May 14th, another Youth Month activity, the Ministers Youth Pop-Up Forum. May 15th, the final Youth Month activity, which was the Free by Free Ball Orama, which was a basketball competition at the basketball court. May 29th was the date of the Soufriere Business Forum hosted at the St. Isidore Hall, where there were over 200 persons in attendance. June 6th, there was the walkabout in St Jacques to visit the sick and shut-in. June 7th, The Working Together to Transform Soufriere Forum, also known as the Funders Forum. June 19th, 2022, Father's Day celebrations at the Soufriere Market area. June 25th, a walkabout in Palmis to visit the Sick and Shut-in. June 26th, 2022, walkabout in Barons Drive to visit the Sick and Shut-in. On June 29th, we celebrated Fisherman's Feast. July 1st, the Taiwanese government donated peat moss and saran netting to the Soufriere constituency to assist in the beautification project. July 3rd, you attended the grand opening of the new location of the St Jacques Credit Cooperative Society on Bridge Street in Soufriere. July 14th, 2022, there was the emancipation presentation at the St. Isidore's Hall under the title Soufriere Emancipation Outreach, Enkindling Our Consciousness. It was a cultural community outreach program. In sometime in mid-July, there was the Jeunesse program, which was launched in collaboration with the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. There were 76 students to graduate from the first cohort, two of which were invited back to teach the second cohort, and one of those students is from Soufriere. August 1st, we hosted the Emancipation Day concert in Soufriere. August 26, 2022, the Educational Assistance Grant Back to School Assistance, where 256 students received assistance. September 5th, 2022, you announced the need for 5 students to submit names who were interested in studying abroad. September 7th, there was a presentation of laptops to the Soufriere Comprehensive Secondary School. September 8th, we began the registration for the Flow Home Communications Relief Bundle. So far, today, in fact, we received an update on the status of persons who have been connected with the Flow bundle, the Flow $20 bundle, and that is continuing. On September 15th, we had the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation Youth Symposium. October 6th, we participated in Present, or rather, I should say, Honorable Emma Hippolyte participated in Present and attended the business forum, the business symposium at the Soufriere Estate. October 15th, Honorable Emma Hippolyte sponsored a new uniform to the Soufriere Football League and the Soufriere Black Hat team. October 20th, you hosted the activity for the elderly, where over 50 elderly men and women were treated to lunch, music and entertainment, and gift bags. October 20th, we hosted the Cannabis Symposium. October 20th as well, you signed a Memorandum of Understanding for the development of the Soufriere waterfront. October 25th, 2022, SLASPA engaged in a maritime stakeholders meeting in Soufriere. October 27th, there was the launch of the St Jacques Agro-Processing Park. November 3rd, 2022, we had the launch of the Renewable Energy Sector Development Project at Mont Coubaril in Soufriere. This project is being funded by the World Bank and other partner governments and agencies. November 5th, 2022, you sponsored a beach cleanup at Magritude Beach in Soufriere. November 24th and November 25th, the Business Planning Model and Creation Workshop at the Soufriere Access Center. On the 29th of November, we had the launch of the Micropayments Government Check Collection from the Accountant General's Department in Soufriere at the Post Office. And on December 4th, we had the launch of the SRDF Christmas Village. And finally, on December 5th, we began the STEP initiative, or the bushing initiative, where 300 men are currently employed for this week.
Thank you very much, Renata. I think it's important that we, periodically remind the community that we are out there representing and working with them as we try to transform our software.
That's right.
So I think it's important that we post these things so that persons understand what you're doing, because sometimes we do and maybe we don't communicate enough. So some persons are not aware of some of the things that you are doing to impact the community. And also, what is critical for that program is to always ask persons to post some of their suggestions as to how we can serve them better. I think because it's always a two-way program. It's a two-way thing. So there's certain things we see, we respond to requests. I am there to serve the community of Soufriere. So I am open to hear their suggestions. They do that continually when they meet me, whether it's in church, whether it's by the market, whether it's on the street. But I'm also saying they can those who are maybe especially those and persons from Soufriere who are overseas, that they can use the Let's Connect page to make suggestions. At the moment now, we are also just in the process, it's around Christmas as well, but we're trying to put in some small community programs together, programs and projects as we continue to clean the place. Now, one area I think we needed to say something on that we have not done is on the roads, because I know that we've had quite a bit of complaints from our residents that the roads, the Diamond Road and the Mini Road needs attention. And I want to report that we have reported this to the Ministry of Infrastructure. Um, a bit of focus was placed on trying to get all our resources over to St. Jude's, but now the Prime Minister is responding. So um, pretty soon we will see some work being done both on the Diamond, not only Diamond, but Diamond has been mentioned a little while because it was in poor shape. Diamond, Mini. When we look at the main road by the cemetery as well, there are areas, the Fongenlib area there. So there are roads in the constituency. And when you look at all the areas in Wingsville, there are roads that require some attention. So I want to let the constituency know that we are working feverishly to see how best we can address them.
Okay, thank you very much.
And Renata as well. I think one of the things you don't have there, I know that the um the Fishers launch two of the fads. I was told when I went there on Saturday, by the time I reached it, they had already left. But I want to congratulate the Fishers Cooperative and the fishermen of Soufriere in terms of launching these two fads.
Okay, I had not been aware of the launching of the fads. My
Yes.
apologies.
So
So
I want to take this moment as well to thank all the persons, you and Bernadette in the office and the other team members in the office, our soldiers on the ground who continue to represent me when I am out, the executive of the SLP group, the constituency group. I want to thank as well the chairman, board members, and staff of the Soufriere Regional Development Foundation for working with us and serving the people of Soufriere. I want to thank the mayor and the town clerk and the staff of the Soufriere Constituency Council, to thank them for the work they're doing in the constituency. I want to thank the police officers, the nurses, the teachers, all the frontline workers, the firemen, and all the residents of Soufriere for their support and prayers. I want to take this moment to wish all of them a Merry Christmas and a peaceful, safe, and prosperous 2023.
thank you so very much, Honorable Emma Hippolyte, for joining us this evening for Let's Connect and for giving us quite a lot of information and a lot of updates on the various things happening around the country right now. And we also want to wish you a very, very wonderful holiday season and hope that you are able to celebrate as best as you can with family and friends. And we look forward to seeing you once again in the year 2023 for more continued Let's Connect programs and more initiatives within the community of Soufriere. Before we leave, I wanted to ask you the final question. Um, yes, one of our listeners wanted to know if you're giving out any hams for Christmas.
I'm not sure about hams. We'll try to dish out something. We do not know what it is yet. Whether it is hams or vouchers, we will try.
All
I'm
right.
working on it feverishly.
All right. I want to also encourage our listeners during the holiday season, while there will be no Let's Connect program, we encourage you to follow the various Facebook pages relating to community news. So there is 88.5 Soufriere FM's Facebook page, the Let's Connect Facebook page, also the Soufriere Constituency Council Facebook page, and the Soufriere Constituency Group Facebook page. So these are all the places where you can get information regarding things happening in the community. It is being updated very regularly. So once again, follow all these pages, follow, like, turn on notifications so that you can be one of the first persons aware of what is going on within our community of Soufriere. I want to thank all those of you who are tuned in tonight to 88.5 Soufriere FM. All those of you tuned in to Let's Connect every Tuesday. It has been a wonderful 2022. So we have had many struggles, but I feel like we have learned a lot as well. So we are ever grateful for our small blessings. Until next year, you have been listening to Let's Connect with your host, Renyata Soze on 88.5 Soufriere FM. Good night.
Good night.